أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا وقودها الناس والحجارة عليها ملائكة غلاظ شداد لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. يا أيها الذين كفروا لا تعتذروا اليوم، إنما تجزون ما كنتم تعملون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا توبوا إلى الله توبة نصوحا عسى ربكم أن يكفر عنكم سيئاتكم ويدخلكم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار يوم لا يخزي الله النبي والذين آمنوا معه نورهم يسعى بين أيديهم وبأيمانهم يقولون ربنا أتمم لنا نورنا واغفر لنا إنك على كل شيء قدير. صدق الله العليم.
Your Excellency, First Lady Madam Sajida Mohammed, Honorable Minister of Health, Family and Welfare, Ms. Gila Ali, UNICEF Representative to Maldives, Dr. Edward Adai, distinguished partners, dear colleagues, and the young people joining us today. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. On behalf of UNICEF Maldives and the Ministry of Health, Family and Welfare, it is my pleasure to warmly welcome you to this Mashwara on child rights. Originally planned to coincide with National Children's Day in May, we are pleased to bring this important conversation together today. The ceremony began with the recitation of the Holy Quran by Aisha Hajar Harnis Musa, grade 5 student from Hurawi School. I am Aminat Lana Arnim from UNICEF Maldives, and I will be your MC this morning. Today's gathering brings us together not only to celebrate children, but to reaffirm our collective responsibility to uphold and advance the rights of every child in the Maldives. We hope that this event provides a platform for all of us to come together and reflect on the situation of children and adolescents in Maldives, and strengthen dialogue on key child rights priorities and mobilize collective action on the most recent UNCRC concluding observations. With this, it is now my pleasure to invite Honorable Minister of Health, Family and Welfare, Dila Ali, to deliver her welcome remarks to commemorate this important mashwara. Minister.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our chief guest on this auspicious occasion, Our Excellency First Lady, Madam Sajida, UNICEF representative to the Maldives, Dr. Edward Adai, esteemed guests, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. It is my great honor to extend my warm greetings to all present as we gather to commemorate National Children's Day. Today we are gathered to reaffirm our shared responsibility to uphold and promote the rights, well-being, and dignity of every child as enshrined in our national laws and international commitments. This platform provides us with a meaningful opportunity to reflect on the progress we have made and to strengthen our resolve to address the challenges that remain. Maldives is proud to be among the countries that have signed and ratified the Convention on the Rights of the Child. The Convention is a blueprint for a society that values its youngest members and recognizes their right to survival, development, protection, and participation. Over the years, our engagement with the CRC has been a guiding light, shaping policies, informing legislation, and inspiring initiatives aimed at realizing these fundamental rights. The journey of integrating the principles of the CRC into our national framework has been both challenging and rewarding. It has helped us to identify priority areas that require our focused attention. From improving healthcare and education to ensuring protection from violence and exploitation, our efforts have been directed towards building a society that nurtures and empowers children. The progress we have made is evident in the numerous initiatives and reforms we have implemented. We have strengthened child protection laws, expanded access to quality education, and increased awareness about children's rights among communities. Our health sector has made significant strides in reducing child mortality rates and improving maternal and child health services. These achievements are a testament to our collective dedication and the shared vision of a society that values its children. As the journey towards fully realizing children's rights is ongoing, new challenges continue to emerge. These include issues related to mental health, digital safety, climate change, and the need for inclusive policies that reach marginalized and vulnerable children. It is imperative that we remain vigilant, adaptable, and proactive in addressing these challenges. Our commitment must be unwavering, and our strategies must be inclusive and evidence-based. We must continue to listen to children whose voices are central to this endeavor and ensure their participation in decisions that affect their lives. In this regard, I'm pleased to announce that today we are launching a magazine dedicated to children's rights and their protection. This publication is more than just a magazine. It is a platform to raise awareness, share experiences, and provide important information on children's rights across our communities. Through this initiative, we aim to educate, inspire, and empower everyone who works in the best interests of children as part of our broader vision of a society where every child is safe, valued, and able to thrive. Today's discussions, therefore, are crucial. It provides us with an opportunity to evaluate our progress, learn from each other, and set concrete goals for the future. I encourage all stakeholders, government officials, civil society, development partners, communities, and most importantly, children themselves, to actively participate in shaping the policies and actions that will define our shared future. Our collective efforts have already yielded positive results, but there is still much work to be done. We must sustain our momentum and deepen our commitment to creating an environment where every child can flourish academically, socially, emotionally, and physically. To conclude, I like to reiterate our unwavering dedication to the principles enshrined in the Convention on the Rights of the Child. Our journey is continuous and our resolve is firm. We believe that investing in our children is investing in our nation's future. Every step we take today brings us closer to a society where children's rights are not just protected on paper, but are lived in realities for every child. Let us work together to build a future where every child is valued, protected, and empowered. Let us ensure that their rights are upheld and that their voices are heard now and in the generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. We now invite you to watch a short National Children's Day video under the theme, If I Were in Charge, capturing the voices and aspirations of children.
If you were in charge, what would you do to help kids?
More art classes. Give kids in different islands basic needs. I would first give kids a safer environment by reducing pollution and growing trees, as well as reducing vehicles and giving more space to walk on. I will make more schools for kids to have more education.
I would provide them a good education, a safe environment to live in, and playgrounds to play in and have fun.
I want more space for youth activities.
I would help the children with their education, and I'll help the children who are struggling with their mental health and stop the violence of children.
Everyone is good at something. I want to help them and become their friend.
I hope we can all continue working together to ensure that these aspirations become reality. Next on the agenda is a presentation, Growing with Rights, Understanding and Supporting the Evolving Capacities of the Child by Hussein Yamin Ali from UNICEF Maldives. This presentation will highlight how children's needs and rights evolve over time and how systems and caregivers can better respond to these changes.
Her Excellency First Lady Madam Sajida, Honorable Minister of Health, Family and Welfare Ms. Gila Ali, UNICEF representative to Maldives, and my boss Dr. Edward Adai. Assalamu alaikum and good morning. My name is Hussein Yamin Ali, and I work at UNICEF Maldives as a youth engagement and resource mobilization consultant. But let me start with a simple question. When does a child become capable? At the age of 10, at 13, at 16, or suddenly at the age of 18? The truth is, children do not become capable overnight. They grow into capacity, they learn, they experience, and they make mistakes. They build confidence, and slowly they begin to understand the world around them. This is what today's presentation is about, growing with rights. The basic idea that children, as they grow, their voice, their participation, their choices and responsibilities should grow with them. We often speak about how children as people who need protection. And of course they do. But sometimes, without meaning to, we stop there. We protect them, but we do not always listen to them. We make decisions for them, but we do not always but we do not always make decisions with them. We speak about their future, but we not always give them space to shape it. The idea of growing with rights reminds us that children are not just dependents, they are right holders from birth. And today, children are growing up in a world that is changing very fast. In digital technology, climate pressures, social media, mental health challenges, and new risks that many adults did not experience the same way. So the question is not only how we protect children, the question is also how we protect children while still respecting their voice and agency. So this brings us to the concept of evolving capacities. In simple words, it means the children's ability to understand, to decide, to express views, and to take responsibility over time. A small child may need more direct guidance. A school age child may start making choices about friendships, learning, and daily routines. An adolescent may be ready for more serious discussions like education, health, safety, and about their future. But evolving capacities does not mean children should be left alone to figure everything out. It means adults have the responsibility to guide them in a way that matches their age, maturity, and their situation. It means adults have the responsibility to guide them in a way that matches, sorry, in Article 5 of the Convention of the Child Rights, says parents and caregivers and the state should provide guidance that is consistent with the child's evolving capacities. So, the role of adults does not disappear, it changes. Less control and more guidance, less silencing and more listening, and less you are too young to understand, and more let me help you understand. As you can see, children grow in stages, and each stage means something different. In early childhood, children, they need love, they need safety, they need care, they need strong relationships. This is where the foundation is built. In middle childhood, children start expanding their world. They build friendships, they build confidence, they build social skills, and they build independence. Then adolescence come. Adolescent is seen as a very difficult period. This is one of the most powerful stages of the development of the child. It is time when young people develop reasoning, they develop identity, they develop emotional regulation, they develop decision making, and they develop the confidence to participate. But also, it's also the time of pressure, peer pressure, the online risks, the high stress, the expectations, and the uncertainty. So adolescents do not need adults to step away completely. They need adults to step in a different way. Not as people, but not as people who control their decisions, but as people who create the spaces, the trust, the guidance, and to take young people seriously. The report explains capacities through three connected ideas: capacities as development, capacities as participation in agency, and capacities in protection and support. The first is development. Children's capacities grow through their environment, where it is family, school, community, health, safety, play, and relationships. So we must ask, are we creating the right conditions for the child to grow? The second is participation in agency. Children should have increase in space to influence decisions that affect them. So we must ask again, are we only consulting children or are we actually listening to them? The third is protection and support. Children still need protection, but protection should not take away their voice. And again, we should ask ourselves, are we protecting children the same way that builds confidence or in a way that creates silence? The most important thing to focus here is that protection and participation are not opposites. When children are heard, protection becomes stronger. When children are trusted, they become more confident. And when children are supported, they are able to make better and safe and more informed decisions. So what does this mean for us? It means our systems must grow with the child. The child protection cannot be only about responding after something happens. It must also be about prevention, early support, trust, and safe participation. Schools must be more than safe places for learning. They must be safe, supportive environments where children are heard, valued, and able to thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. Health and social services must be responsive to children and adolescents' needs, must and adolescents' evolving needs, providing age appropriate support, and promote the well being and development of every child at every stage of growth. Digital safety must not only be about blocking access, but about helping children understand risks, make choices, and participate safely online. And when we design policies or programs for children and adolescents, children and adolescents should not be invited at the end for a photo or a quote. They should be part of shaping the process itself because people closest to children are children themselves. At the end, I want to end with a thought. Children are not waiting to become right holders when they're 18. They are right holders now. And our job is to make sure that they grow with their rights with them, with care, with guidance, with protection, and most importantly, with respect with their voice. Because growing up should not only mean becoming older, it should be becoming more heard, more supported, more confident, and most importantly, more empowered. Thank you.
Thank you for that insightful presentation, Yamin. We now come to a special moment in today's program, the launch of the National Children's Day magazine, followed by the remarks by Her Excellency First Lady Madam Sajida Mohammed. This magazine is intended to serve as a valuable resource, offering information to caregivers, parents, and professionals engaged in the development and protection of children. The magazine, along with the audio version, will also be published on the website of the Ministry of Health, Family and Welfare. To officiate the launch, I respectfully invite Her Excellency First Lady Madam Sajida Mohammed, Honorable Minister Her Excellency Gila Ali, and UNICEF Representative to Maldives Dr. Edward Adai. Thank you, First Lady, Minister, and UNICEF representative. It is now my honor to invite Her Excellency First Lady Madam Sajida Mohammed to deliver her remarks.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Minister of Health, Family and Welfare, Hila Ali. UNICEF representative to the Maldives, Dr. Edward Adai. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and a very good morning. Today, we gathered for this mashwara dedicated to the rights and well-being of our children, held in commemoration of National Children's Day, observed on 10th May 2026. This is indeed a day of celebration, a day to honor the joy, innocence, and promise that children bring into our lives. It is also a day for reflection, a day for taking responsibility, and a day for us as families, communities, and as a nation to ask ourselves whether we are doing enough to ensure that every child grows up safe and empowered to reach their full potential. Every child deserves a child that is secure, nurtured, and filled with opportunity. Children are the joy of our homes and the hope of our nation. The upbringing we provide today will shape not only their lives, but the well-being and future of our society. To truly care for the children is not only to provide for their immediate needs, it is also to nurture their minds, strengthen their character, and instill in them faith, compassion, and resilience. It means giving them the moral grounding and encouragement and wisdom they need to grow into responsible and confident individuals. This responsibility extends beyond formal systems. While legislations and institutions are essential, the truest form of protection comes from the actions and values we uphold every day in our homes, our schools, and our communities. It is reflected in the way we speak to the children, the way we listen to them, the example we set, and the care we show. Ladies and gentlemen, we all recognize that protecting children is a shared responsibility. It is the responsibility of parents who provide love, care, and safety. It is the responsibility of the teachers who nurture their minds and prepare them for the future. And it is the responsibility of the community members who guide them to do what is right. A truly protective society is built not only through systems, but through people who are attentive, informed, compassionate, and willing to act. Protecting children requires creating environments where kindness, discipline, respect, and good values are not merely spoken about, but consistently lived in their homes, schools, communities, and everyday interactions. Today, we must also acknowledge the sad reality of the various forms of violence, harm against children that often happens in silence. Many children who experience violence, neglect, or emotional distress may not know how to ask for help. Some remain silent out of fear, others remain silent out of confusion or shame. In such moments, what matters most is that there is someone who notices, someone who listens with care, and someone who has the courage to act. In this age and time, the challenges facing children are becoming increasingly complex. The digital world offers valuable opportunities for learning and connection and innovation, but it also introduces new risks that require vigilance, awareness, and guidance. The very tools intended to support learning and entertainment without appropriate guidance and healthy boundaries can sometimes expose children to experience that may affect their well-being, development, and leave lifelong hidden scars. In this evolving environment, it is important for us as parents, caregivers, and teachers to continue learning alongside children. We must guide them carefully through digital spaces and modern technology so that progress does not come at the expense of their innocence, safety, or emotional well-being. The government has already taken important steps in this regard. The National Action Plan on Prevention and Response to Violence Against Children 2024 to 2028 now provides a national framework focused on safer homes, safer schools, safer communities, safer online spaces, and stronger child protection services. Dedicated support mechanisms, including the 1412 Children's Hotline and broader child and social protection services, are helping bring assistance closer to children and families. In addition, the government has reaffirmed its investment in education, healthcare, and community programs and is preparing to establish a dedicated hospital for women and children. Furthermore, the government has announced stronger safeguards for children online, including restricting access to certain social media platforms for children under 16. These efforts reflect an important truth. Protecting children must remain a national priority, and it must evolve with the changing realities of the world around them. Ladies and gentlemen, we must give greater attention to the children's mental and emotional well-being. A child's safety is not measured only by the absence of physical harm. Preserving their dignity, safeguarding their emotional security, and ensuring that they feel seen, heard, valued, and loved are imperative. Helping children understand the realities and challenges of the modern world in an age-appropriate method is more important than ever before. Building a generation that is informed, resilient, morally grounded, and able to navigate the future with wisdom and confidence requires collective commitment from all of us. No single institution can address these challenges alone. Families, communities, service providers, and national institutions must work together in line with the Child Rights Protection Act and the wider national and international child protection frameworks to create safer environments for children. This is why gatherings such as this, Mashwara, matter. They bring together knowledge, experience, and commitment. They create space for honest reflection and shared purpose. But the true value of today will not be measured only by the words exchanged here. It will be measured by how these conversations are translated into action and after we leave this Mashwara table. I warmly welcome the launch of the magazine focusing on child rights development and establishing safe and secure environments. Initiatives such as these are vital. They help raise awareness, encourage dialogue, and strengthen the ability of communities to protect and support children. As we move forward, we must also ensure that our efforts are inclusive. Every child, regardless of background or circumstance or where they live, deserves equal access to safety, protection, support, and opportunity. The safeguarding children does not require grand gestures. More often, it is the small, consistent acts of that care that leave the deepest impact. It is taking the time to listen. It is paying attention and noticing changes. It is offering support and reassurance. Most importantly, it is choosing to speak up when a child's safety and dignity is in question of risk. When these small acts are repeated every day, in every home, every classroom, every island, and every community, they become something far greater. They become the foundation of a nation that truly protects its children. Ladies and gentlemen, as we guide our children through this rapidly changing world, we must continue instilling in them a love of learning, respect for our religion and our traditions, strong moral values and ethics, and sense of purpose that helps them grow with confidence, integrity, and compassion. Let us raise children who are not only successful, but also kind, not only knowledgeable, but also principled, not only capable, but also deeply aware of their responsibility to others and to the nation. As we reflect on today's discussion, let us always remember every child is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every child is a privilege that is entrusted upon us. Every child is a shared responsibility of us all. If we honor this in both words and actions, every day we can build a nation where every child grows up safe, respected, and loved, where every child is nurtured, empowered, and given the opportunity to flourish and shine. And that is the Maldives we leave behind for our future generations. I thank you.
Thank you, First Lady, for your inspiring remarks and continued commitments to advancing the rights of our children. To conclude this opening segment, I invite UNICEF representative to Maldives, Dr. Edward Adai, to deliver his closing remarks.
Your Excellency, Madam Sajida Mohammed, First Lady of the Republic of Maldives, thank you for your wise words. Thank you for asking us to move from words to actions. And thank you for reminding us that it's the little actions that bring change. And those are the actions that take place at home, in schools, in our communities. The everyday things that we do are the things that nurture our children. Honorable Gila Ali, Minister of Health, Family and Welfare, thank you for your leadership, the passion, and indeed your commitment to children, families, and the health and welfare of all of us. We appreciate you, Madam. My friends, my peers, my colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. And really, I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you for coming. Your presence here is really an indication of your commitment, the importance that you give to the children of the Maldives. But not just them, children, it's their survival, their development, their well-being, and their participation. On this National Children's Day, I bring you just one message. And allow me to say it in my broken Divehi, but I'll try and say it in English. I think everybody here understands Divehi. It's just one message. It's Kome Kujaga Frusa Ti. How do you say it? Can you help me? Kome Kujaga Frusa Ti. I'll have to add some Ghanaian language to it. Frusa Te. Yes, thank you very much. Every child deserves an opportunity. And if we think about that at the home level and we take it into our school and our community and the whole nation, you really appreciate this particular statement. Your Child Rights Protection Act, which is one of the strongest acts in the world, and I'm very pleased to say that, fully aligned with the Convention of the Rights of the Child, defines a child as somebody from 0 to 18. Every child from 0 to 18 deserves an opportunity. And a lot of us are here. In fact, all of us are here because we got that opportunity. In fact, all of us were once upon a time children. All of us. And I want to say that there are serious transitions in childhood. A child who is 0 to 5 is a bit different from a child who is 6 to 10, and a bit different from a child who is 10 to 18. The needs of children evolve. What does not change is their rights. And Yamin said it so well. All children grow up with rights. But they transition. The issue is sometimes we treat an 18 or a 16-year-old as if it's a baby, or you treat a baby as if it's a 16-year-old. And the message of growing up with rights is that actually we have to evolve. And it's very challenging for the family. It's very challenging for the teacher. It's also very challenging for our health and education systems. And today, given the progress that you have made in this country, we'd like to challenge you to help us with these transitions so that the opportunities that we give to children that respond to their needs is appropriate for their age. So on this particular day, I'd like to join the First Lady and the Minister of Health and others here to really celebrate Maldives as one of the successful countries in child survival, development, and participation. Yamin's performance did not happen overnight. It has been incremental and cumulative. And it's because you did something right. But what I come to you with is that every child deserves that opportunity. And so this collective impact platform, which brings together diverse players, is an opportunity for us to reflect on the progress that we have made, but also to recognize that the nature of children is that every year new children are born. So every year you literally have to start from ground zero. So the fact that you've made progress yesterday does not mean today you don't need to pay attention. You still have to pay attention. It's just like a conveyor belt. Every year children are born, every year children are growing. Children cannot wait. So we are asking that we use this opportunity to celebrate our successes, and indeed we have. But also an opportunity to recommit to the children that are yet to be born and those that are in the pipeline of growth. Because as you heard from the First Lady, children are growing in a rapidly changing world, shaped by climate change, digital exposure and digital transformation, mental health issues, changing social expectations, and indeed, for a lot of these children, there's also uncertainties about their future. And that's very stressful. Adolescence today looks very different from the world in which I grew up. So whereas I was born and grew into digitization, these children are born into it. It's a different architecture, if you think about it. The children are born and we are carrying our phones. And by the way, children are copycats. The children learn more by looking at us, listening to us. So sometimes what we see our children do is actually a reflection of our society. And we punish them think we should be punishing ourselves when children go haywire. So they are growing up in a different age, and sometimes we even are not able to transform to be responsive to them in that age, because we also grow up in our age. The times are changing, and they are changing very fast. And the wonderful thing about this country, as you heard from the First Lady and the Honorable Minister of Health, is that you are aware of it and you are confronting it. So I'd like to say a big thank you to the government of Maldives, and through you to His Excellency the President, for the attention you continue to pay on children, for the priority you are giving to your adolescents and your youth. If we don't prepare them for the future will be bleak. And I think the Honorable Minister said that very eloquently. And as we continue to work, the rights are not changing. It's childhood that is changing. The rights are still universal. And you heard the First Lady articulate them so clearly. From the family, they must learn, they must be loved. Those things don't change. It's the childhood, the context that is changing. And for us, the Convention on the Rights of the Child, and indeed the Child Rights Protection Act, gives the important north. I'm never able to say whether it's a North Star or a North Pole, but gives us the direction, what we must look at, and the principles and the guiding star for all the work that we do. The easiest thing sometimes is to change the law. It's more difficult to implement. So as we get into this mashwara, we are hoping that you think through what it takes to actually implement the good frameworks and the good laws. You also think carefully about how we look at the evolving development of the child, the evolving capacities of the child, and the response that we give to that child. Nature has it such that even before the child is born, it's fully protected in our mother's wombs. That's the level of protection. But nature has it that as the children grow, they grow further and further away from us. We see it, we've gone through it. So the transition from protection to preparation of our children to become adults is something that I hope this Mashwara would look at. I hope we'll also pay attention to adolescents. Adolescents think they are adults, but they don't have the capability to be adults. They are in a space of discovery. They are in a space where they want autonomy, and they are discovering. Please let us think about adolescents in particular in this transit. We've done very well with our children. They are surviving. We are doing well with education. Your next challenge is, what do you do with your adolescents? So ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of UNICEF, I really would like to express my sincere appreciation for convening us. And we've heard you, Madam First Lady. It's not just about talking. It's about moving from talk to action. We appreciate you for coming together. We ask you to engage fully in this conversation. Madam Minister, thank you for coming. Thank you for your presence. Through you to your team, your larger team now, we want to use the opportunity to say a big thank you to the teams that we've worked with. I've learned painfully that you are only a leader if you have followers. And I think you do. So I make you one of our big leaders, and we hope that you are successful as we chart this particular challenging path. I want to use the opportunity to reiterate that UNICEF has been here since 1978 and will continue to accompany you on this journey. Some people think UNICEF is leaving. We are not leaving. As long as there's a child with a need in this country, UNICEF would be here. So please look after us as well. We are not leaving you. We'll accompany you, we'll work with you. And I hope today's discussions, which is really based on the feedback on the UNCRC, both on the progress that you have made, as well as the unfinished business and the emerging issues on child rights, will be discussed extensively, and practical actions will be identified. And hopefully we can come back to you, Madam First Lady, to say, these are the actions we are going to take. Because talk without action doesn't do anything. So thank you very much, and I wish each and every one of us very fruitful deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. Once again, on behalf of UNICEF and the Ministry, thank you to Your Excellency First Lady Madam Sajida Mohammed for commemorating this mashwara. We will now break for tea and refreshments. Kindly please be back in the hall by 10:15 as we will continue with the mashwara to take stocks of progress, identify remaining gaps, and agree on practical next steps to advance policies, systems, and investments that uphold and promote the rights of every child. Thank you.